So what is bin actually? So initially we discussed about groups and set. As you know, we have groups and set where we can create groups on top of dimensions and measures. Similarly, this is one of the important point, right click on any of the measure, create, you can see you have an option to go for calculation field, group, bins and parameter. So what I mean to say is it is not possible to create a set on top of measures, but yes, you can create bins instead of group. As I said right initially, don't prefer groups because a particular sale value you are going to create a group, and because of the static functionality of group, we generally don't prefer groups on top of measures. But what is the advantage of bins? Something like grouping of sales value, or it's simple. Let me showcase one more example. When you select any particular measure, couple of charts were enabled here. One is bar graph and the other one is histogram. When you mouse over on histogram, you can see the below information. For histogram view, try one measure and you can see creates a bin field, not available for all the measures, but mostly you can get the bin field created automatically. Okay. So what I mean to say is when you select this particular visualization, okay, chart, histogram chart, automatically sales bin is going to create. Just click on this. Okay. So now you can see here sales bin. If you can search in dimension, you can also find sales bin. This is created automatically. Sales bin. Okay. And what is happening here is, what is this 02? Okay, I think default we will get some default size of the bin, but let me showcase based on the number of records. So we got a default size, but let me showcase that. Let's say I want to create a bin size with 1000. Click OK. Now you can see this is the default bin created. I'm going to explain from scratch how to create a bin straight away. So this particular analysis is something where from sales, right, 0 to 1000, how much sales happened actually. So that is what number of sales, count of sales. But I will give you a better information now. But this is what default generated field, like whenever you're going to click on this histogram, by default the sales bin is created. Okay, so let's go back. Now I don't have any sales bin. I'm going to create from scratch instead of going for the histogram. Okay, let me create a bin on top of measure value, that is sales. Right click on sales, create a bin. So default we are getting the size of the bin, maybe based on this differentiation. Okay, so what I mean to say is like, so you have an option to provide you have an option to provide a value, enter a value, or you can also make use of parameter. Oh, 1 minute please. We have you can make use of bin size. I'm going to showcase what is the bin size. Okay, let's click OK. So you can clearly see that the minimum value and the maximum value of the sales information. Okay, so what is meant by minimum and maximum, how it works, let me showcase that. So this is the sales bin created, and let's drag and drop sales bin. So when you right click on sales, let me showcase the sales information. So how much you're getting till 22k, right? Sales bin 0 1 2 3 4 5 till 22k. Let's right click on sales, create a group. Why I'm just showing this group in the sense, this particular whenever you're going to create a group, it will showcase individual sales information. Okay, individual sale, like whatever the product wise, particular order wise, product wise sale information. When you scroll down, what is the maximum value? 22,000, 22,638, correct? That is 22K. That is the reason you can see we are getting 22K till 22K. Okay. So what I mean to say is this is the value where you can see the minimum value and the maximum value, and you can also see 17,001 record. At the range of 17K you have one record, 13 we have one. It is close to 14, but you can see 13,999.96. So it will come under 13K bucket, not 14K. I will showcase that. Okay. So take this snapshot as a reference, or let me use a snipping tool just for an understanding. Okay. So I will copy this. Let's just take this. Okay. Let's look into the data. So now I'm going to drag and drop sales. This is sales bin. Okay. I'm going to drag and drop sales into columns. So what you can see is it is very clear that we have one record at 22K. We don't have any data at 18, 19, 20, 21K. Okay. How much sales happened, or what is the total sales amount across 22K bucket? So the range of values between 22,000 to 23. So 0K is nothing but 0 to 1,000. So 1K is nothing but 1K to 1,000 to 2,000 range of sales. So when you look into this information, 17K, the sales value for 17K is 17,500. Let's look into this. Do we have 17,500? Yes, 17,000. It's rounding up, but the actual value is 17,499.95. Correct? Yes, this is true. For 13K, you can see 13. It shows when you mouse over on this, it clearly shows 14,000, but it comes under 13,000 bucket, right? As I said, it is very close to 14,000. That is the reason why it comes under 13. But when you mouse over the value of sales, it's showing 14 because it's rounding up. Clear? For 11K, you have one single value, that is 11,199. Maybe it will showcase 11,200 because of rounding up. For 10K, we have one single value, that is 10,500. And for 9K, this is where you'll get more clarity. When you mouse over on 9K, we don't get only one single 9,000 value, right? You can see 28,443. That means the sum of these three, we have three records, correct? 9 3s are 27, so around 28. That is what 28,000. Getting the point, right? If you want to clearly segregate the data, you can drag and drop maybe number of orders or products. So let me add orders. Okay, order ID into color. We have in one single order, you might have multiple products. Okay, so that is the reason I just added order. So now when you mouse over on this, 9K, you can see one of the record with 9,100. That is the first record, 9099. That is, it is rounding up. It shows 9,100. And when you go back to the second record, 9893. So this is the second record, 9893. It is rounding up. Okay. And the other one is 9450. Because of rounding value, we should get 9450. 9450. Perfect. So what analysis we are going to do is, it's something similar to a range of values which we created straight away on the fly, kind of a bucket where 0 to 1000 we created a range. So 1000 to 2000, this is 2000 to 3000, so this is 3 to 4. So what I mean to say is, instead of creating an if condition, multiple if conditions, one of the best example for this particular analysis is age range. Okay, if you have 1 to 100 ages, And if you want to create an age range, right? Age range between 0 to 10, like, or 10 to 20, 20 to 30, or something like 0 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, something like that. So you can create a bin for age ranges, and across that age range, and you can check on the sales similarly. So, but I say it like age range, correct? Age range, age is a basically, like, we can create a bin on top of measures, correct? Right click, create a bin. So most of the cases in interviews as well, there are some of the interviewers might get confused. They will ask, can we create a bin? Or sometimes they do ask this particular question, can we create a bin on top of dimension? Okay. Right click on any of the dimension. You don't have an option to go for bin. Right click on region. No option to bin. But right click on row ID, create a bin. So for dimensions, as I said, it is possible, but not for all the dimensions. This bin is possible only for the integer data type. You can see bin because it's the postal code. It's an integer data type. Okay. Row ID is a number. Okay. Postal code is a number. Do we have anything? Maybe month number. If you have a month number, let me showcase that. Let me create a simple analysis.
He said it only applies to integer one.
Yeah, for dimensions, we can also create a bin field, but this will applicable only for the number data type.
Okay.
What of one that has alphanumeric?
I didn't get you, sorry.
What of, can it be created on alphanumeric?
Numeric.
Alphanumeric, like
Alphanumeric, no. So it's only thing like in Tableau, we have only numeric or text. Okay. Or if it is an alphanumeric, it comes under text.
okay.
So this is an integer by default, integer data type. Now right click on this month number, create a bin field. So what I meant to say is, what is the advantage of bin? I'm not saying like bin helps a lot, but what is the advantage of bin is, in this case, right? Let's say sales bin, which we created to achieve the same requirement. Okay. To achieve the same or to get the same kind of information, let's say here, control we used order ID, sorry. To get this kind of an information, 0K, 1K, 2K, what we have to do is, so you need to write a calculation, create a calculation. Let's say we don't have a bin concept in Tableau. How we are going to implement this information, like how to showcase 0K, 1K, 2K, something like that. You have to write a statement. If sum of sales less than 10,000, then 0 to 10K. So we are just displaying here 0, that's a base value, the starting value. But if you want to properly mention what exactly the value which we are displaying, the range, you can code in a single, like a string, okay, double quotes or a single quote. So this is from 0 to 10K. You can write else if sum of sales less than, let's say, 20,000, then 10K to 20K. Else if sum of sales less than 30,000, then I'm saying that this is 20K to 30K. Else greater than or equal to 30K. I can write multiple statements. Okay. So I will showcase that. I'm just showing this particular option. Okay. Like custom bin, custom sales bin. Okay. So let's remove this custom bin. It's aggregating. Let me drag and drop into. It's not allowing. Okay, let me showcase some part of data. Because straight up it is not displaying the results based on the value, but you can see here. Okay, so what I mean to say is whatever the value, or let's click on the text so that it will be more clear. So whatever the value between 0 to 10K, you can see. So let's say unselect all. What is the range? Like, let's check between 0 to 10K. How many records? One record. Let's check between 10K to 20K. Couple of records comes under 10K to 20K benchmark. So let's check with 20K to 30K, only one single record. So greater than 30K, have these many records. Clear? So what I mean to say is, yes, you can do, you have to create a calculation, which, but we have to, I think we need to use subcategory in the detail section. It's aggregating. You can showcase something like this. At what level, right? So we need to set the level so that we'll get more clarity. So this is where it's not showing up properly. Let me use this. Now let me drop. So you can see here, we are not aggregating here. So, but what I mean to say is, if you look into this, if you just want to display only the bin field, the custom bin, whatever we created. So how many records we do have between 0 to 10K? So 1. So between 10 to 20K, we have couple of records, something like this. So whatever the analysis we are doing here, we just done the same. So what I mean to say is, if you want to create a bin by using calculation field, yes, we can create, but if it is like something around 22K, we need to write an if condition for 22 times or 23 times. You got the point, right? So that is what the advantage of bin. So if you want to write multiple if statement or case statements, let's say if you can write at least 10 if statements, that is fine. But if you are going to write from like 100 if statements or 1000 if statements, then for sure it is going to degrade the performance. That is the reason why, like, one of the advantage with Tableau existing functionality called as bin. So you can just right click on this, create a bin, and you can check, you can go for the range of values. Let's say what is the bin size. So we created sales bin, and you can provide 1000, right? You can provide 1000 separation. So that, so here you can see I just used order ID, but let's remove order ID. Now it is very clear that, as you know, lesser the cost price, you can see more number of sales happened across that particular for those products. So 0K is nothing but 0 to 1000, correct? So 1K is nothing but 1000 to 2000. So this, like, you can see the more number of sales happened for those products, the cost price of the for those products, which is I'm not saying we have a cost price here. Just a sales happened. But so whatever the sales happen for those products, if the cost price or 0 to 10, 0 to 1000, you can see more number of sales happened across that particular range. For
So
22K,
Ramesh,
yes.
so when you wanted to create the bin, the number of the number of size, how do you determine number of size? Are we gonna decide that by ourselves?
Size of
Like
the bin you can
when you click
differentiate.
on,
You just right click.
like when you right click to create a bin, you put size of bin 1000, right?
Yeah, it's up to you. Like I just created a bin size 1000 so that at
So
least I can,
each of those is 1000.
yeah, at least the difference is 1000. Yeah, the bin size
On,
is 1000.
on each one,
So
on each of those bar graphs is
yeah,
1000.
yeah,
The
that's what.
range. But can you make the
Range.
range more than 1,000? Or by default it goes to 1,000?
No, it's your
No, no,
size.
no.
The size
It's
the size you
size.
select.
Yeah. Default, it is applying a default size. It is calculating a default bin size. So that is the reason we have a flexibility to create a parameter. Okay. So we can also pass a parameter. Now let's create a parameter.
So, okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Uh, can you close this pop-up for parameters so I can ask you? Okay, here. What about the minimum difference and the maximum number? Where did that come from?
Yeah, that is what I said, right? The minimum sales value, the range of values. Okay. That is the reason I showed initially, like group. What is the
So
minimum value?
that came from the number of sizes on the cells, on the sum of cells. Does it come on its own
Yes.
from
So let's
number of
cancel.
cells?
Yeah. Let me showcase that. Create a group. So why I'm going to create a group in the sense like it will showcase the individual sales happened, okay, across the lowest level. You can see 0.444. So it's rounding up to 0. That is the reason you can see 0. 0.5
Yeah,
it will
but
showcase 1, but you have 0.
What I was trying to figure out is not close this again. Let's try to see if we can create a bin again. Go to cells and create a bin. I'm trying to figure out how those numbers came. Did they come the minimum, the difference number and the max number? Did they come out based on the number of cells, or where did they come from? That's what I want to know.
That is what I just want. Okay, I will showcase straight away. So have a product name. One second, please. Sorry. So now let's use order ID. Okay, let's use order ID. Why I'm using order ID, I will tell you. And let's use product name. I just want to showcase the minimum sales value. That's the reason I'm just showing order ID and product. When you remove order ID, when you sort it out, let's say when you sort it out, you can see 2. The total sales value for this particular product is 2. But there might be number of orders. There might be multiple orders. Okay. So let's keep only, and let me use order ID so that you'll get more clarity. I'll tell you what is the minimum value. So for this, we have only one order. The price value is 1.62. But let me use, can I capture? Yes, this one. You can see sales value 1. For this, sales value is 1. Okay. Getting the point, right? This is the least value. You can see 1. But if you can see 0, let's apply the filter so that we can simply filter out the data, right? You can see 0. Let's go for 0. One single value, you can see. And when you filter out the data, what is the range you are getting? 0 to 22,638. It is not summing up. It is showing the individual product wise sales. Got it? So you can see here, I have one product with one single order ID. So I have one order, okay, order ID. So this is the product. The total number of sales happened for this product is 22,638. So that is what the maximum value. Whenever you are going to create a bin field, it will take the lowest level of granularity. It will take the lowest level of, that is what the range of values from 0 to 22638. You can also clearly see here 0 to 22638.
Yeah, what about 6? Oh, yeah, what about the 6,144? 6144.
So it is calculating the distinct count. So internally it is calculating a distinct count for those. Maybe let me drop this order ID. We have
Oh, number of occurrences on all of them all together.
oh, I think something like this. It is calculating a distinct value internally. So this is 1. For we have
Yeah,
2
2.
6, right? That is 2
Okay,
3.
I see what I'll see what you're saying. That's all I wanted to know.
Oh,
Then
you are
3.
digging
Yeah,
deeper.
all I wanted to know is not you explaining it more than what I wanted to know. I just wanted to know where those numbers, where the the 200 and something thousand. If it's
Yeah,
from this, if it's from the cell, number of cells, you know what I mean?
yeah, that's true.
I was
I'm
I
going
was
to
one I was trying to get a yes or no answer. That's it.
I'm going to showcase an example, a real-time example. You might aware of this.
Mhm.
This one.
Yeah.
This is a kind of a bin, but why I'm showing this example, like Six Sigma, generally let's put aside the different naming convention. But what I mean to say is, like let's say you can consider 0 to 100, okay? 0 to 100 marks or 0 to 100 percentage. Most of the people comes under on an average 60 or 50 to 60 or 60 to 70, correct? So from 50 to 60 and 60 to 70, this is what the more number of people comes into this particular bucket. Agreed?
Yeah.
And in any of the, on an average, in any of the education system, like mostly 90% of the case, there are very few numbers will get more than 90 percentage. Maybe let's say if we have 100 people in the class, maybe more than 5, I don't think more than 5 members will get 90 plus percentage in any of the degree. So not in school level. In school level for sure they might get more than 90 percentage in any MS or any of the education. So more than 90 you can see very few, 5 members, and you cannot see 0 to 10 percentage for sure. Maybe if the person failed to attend the exam, 0 to 10 percentage is very few, 10 to 20% is also very few. Maybe you can see 30 to 40 percentage, some students comes into that bucket. So that is what kind of a histogram or Six Sigma. So what are all the customers, or who are the customers? purchased the product, whatever the range of sales, the sales range. So that is what we are doing some analysis, whatever the sales range and the number of products or the number of the total number of sales happened across that particular bucket. That is what we do called as Six Sigma. So you can just compare the same analysis with Six Sigma. That is what histogram does. Histogram is also doing the same thing. So whatever the sales comes under that specific bucket, but yeah, whatever you asked is correct. Internally, it is calculating the bin size and the whatever the you said, right? The whatever the distinct count. It is internal. It is calculating. Okay.
Okay.
So, but you can see by making use of bins, yes, between 0 to 1,000 sales, this is what the total number of sales happen. And between 1,000 to 2,000, you can see the sales, the total sales. That is what the advantage of bin. This is initial, instead of creating a case statement or if condition, you can create a bin. And what we can do is, this is the range of value, like this is what 1,000, but you can create, you can sales bin, you can create a parameter, right click, edit. This is pretty simple. Now click on this drop down, create a new parameter, and let me, minimum value I can tell you is like 1,000. You can set any benchmark. So maximum I can showcase like 3,000 or something. So maximum I can convert, or let's say 5,000. 5,000 is the maximum bin size. Step size plays an important role here. Let me go for 500. Increment. I will increment to 5,500. Okay. Every time for the bin, I can increment up to 500. So that means now the bin size is 0. Now when you increment by 500, the bin size, it will showcase 0, 1,500. Initially it is 1,000. Now it is 1,500, 3,000, 4,500. That is increment by 1,500. Correct? I can see. So now we are incrementing by 2,000. The bin size is 2,000. That means 0, 2,000, 4,000. The difference is 2,000. 6, 8, 10, 12. The difference of each bin size is 2,000. When you increment by 500, that is 2,500, you can see the bin size. It is very simple that you can change the bin size dynamically. It depends on the requirement. So
Can you do the parameter again? The parameter on top of bin.
yeah, I will do that. So let's right click, edit. Now let me create a parameter. Click on this drop down. Okay, you can say click on this drop down. You can enter a value or you can create a new parameter. So I'm going for a range. I will go for 1,000. Maximum you can choose any value. I will go for 5,000. Okay, and the step size, as I said, is important. If you want to increment by 100, it's up to you, or increment by 1,000. I'm just using 500. Click OK, right click.
So where is the 5,000 applied?
5,000, right?
That 5,000, what did they apply for here right now?
So when you use bin size 5,000, that applied here. So 0, what is the bin size? The difference you can see 5,000, 10,000, 15, 20.
The 5,000 we put on when we create the bin. Where did they apply to? When we create the bin, when we create the parameter. Sorry,
This is the sales bin. This is the sales bin parameter. Okay. So we are passing a value to sales bin here. You can see it's already there in the column.
No, what I was saying is, when we apply the 5,000 on the parameter that we created on top of bin, where is that value on the background? Yeah.
No,
What is that value to
what
find?
value we are passing? That is first important point. What value we are passing? Size. Okay.
Not on this one. Not on
No,
the
no, no.
bin. On the
I'm going to tell
parameter.
you. Like this is important. What value we are passing? Bin parameter. But what is this? Size.
The
Okay.
size of bin
The size of bin. So what is the size of the bin now?
is on 1,000 each.
1,000 each. Correct. Now when you increment to 5,000, that is what the maximum value. When you increment by 5,000, what is the value which we are passing? 5,000. What is the size of the bin difference?
5,000.
Yeah, that's what the maximum value. Maximum you can create a bin size up to 5,000.
Oh, okay.
Clear? So if I am going to make use of sales bin parameter to 10,000, okay. Now I will increment by 1,000 just for a less number of bin size. Now I can increment to 10,000. What is the size of the bin difference? You can see 10,000. But I don't want to go beyond 5,000 because I will just make use of 5,000 bucket or 1,000 bucket, something like that. Kind of a maximum I can go for 5,000. So that at least I will get some good number of bins, like 5,000 separation. At least I can showcase 5 bins. Now, if you want to go for 1,000 bin, you will get more number of buckets, kind of 1,000 separation. Okay. Any questions? So this is what bin, where you can create a bin. You can create a bin on top. This is one of the important like question where it's not about bin concept, but generally most of the cases they are going to ask a simple question that, hey, can we create a bin on top of dimension? So if we need to check whether it is possible or not. Few cases like they do feel that we cannot create a bin on top of dimension. Most of the interviewers also feel that they cannot create a bin on top of dimension, but we can tell that strongly, yes, we can create a bin on top of dimension, but it must be an integer data type. You can see it must be an integer data type. That is what the importance of bin. Okay. So any questions, let me know on these parameters. I'm going to showcase few of the examples as well. Like I'm going to showcase one more example called as date parameter example. So sometimes we need to pass a value. So create a parameter. We can also get a kind of a calendar. Okay. When you select date, use all. I'm going to use this as a show parameter, sorry. When you click on this drop down, you can see you can create a kind of a parameter for on top of date, so that when you select some part of date, based on that you will fetch that particular information. It's not like a filter. I'm going to tell you one of the real-time example, maybe whenever we are going to discuss with date functions. Okay, but this is also like one of the important point where date parameter, like we have filters, it will straight away when you apply filter, it will impact in the report, but parameters directly it is not going to impact in the reports. As you know, right, we need to create any calculation fields, or we need to place parameters in filters or custom SQL or reference lines or bins. So this is what parameters. This is where the importance of parameters in real time, where most of the cases sometimes user wants to pass a value, then for sure we have to prefer parameters. Any questions on this? So I want to showcase an example actually. So the long back, like, but yeah, I'll just start a simple concept called as annotations. Okay. Then we'll discuss discrete and continuous tomorrow. And we'll start with data blending. Data blending is one of the important concept in Tableau and also in real time. So we can blend the data. That means we can connect to multiple data sources. Like you can see, if we have two different data sources, how we are going to create reports on top of multiple data sources. But I will just quickly start annotations. I will also explain one more time tomorrow. It's a very simple concept. But what is annotations? Still, if you have any questions in parameters, let me know. If needed, we can start annotations tomorrow because we have few minutes left.
Okay.